Hello, everybody, and welcome to NextGen Planners. My name is Dan, and I'm the head of community experience here at NextGen Planners. And today we've got something a little bit different for you guys. So, as you may know, we do university boot camps here at NextGen Planners, and what those are intended to do is put graduates from universities all around the UK and the world in touch with forward-thinking employers here from the UK. And occasionally from the NextGen Planners community as well, in the hope of building fantastic relationships between these people and potentially good recruitment relationships as well. And today, we've got an actual case study of a financial planning firm who have been through one of those boot camps and been successful at one of those boot camps. And that is Broadoak Financial Planning, which is headed up by Mark Anderson. Hi, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Dan.
Good stuff.
Are you?
And I'm fine. We've had a bit of technical difficulties on our end, haven't we? But we're all good. And today we are also joined by his colleagues Rachael and Zoe from Broadoak as well. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, good.
Good. And if you haven't noticed already, they are in the same room. So there might be a little bit of echo on your side as well. And I think it's Rachel's, no, it's Zoe's birthday today. So happy birthday, Zoe, when we're recording this as well. So Mark, I just want to talk to you first, if I can, about the boot camps and from your perspective as an employer. So I think it was last year's boot camp that you actually went to, I believe. And
yes, that's right. Yes.
Which university was it that took part?
Yeah, it was MMU because I'm based in Manchester, but
Okay.
I also, I think, attended one for Leeds and Liverpool as well.
Okay, cool, brilliant. And so, I mean, this is kind of I think you would probably agree, this is a bit of a kind of new territory for financial planning firms. They don't usually get this kind of this experience in recruitment for hiring new financial planners to their financial planning firms. So how was it for you? What did you get from the day, when, apart from obviously two new awesome people for your team?
Yeah, I think that the key thing, Dan, was it was really inspiring for a number of different reasons. It was fantastic to see the breadth of talent leaving university and would be interested in a career in financial services. The number of great quality candidates was really amazing, but it was also brilliant to see other advisors from other firms with a very forward-thinking outlook, and it's really encouraging for the industry as a whole. I was able to pick up a few ideas and tips from colleagues, but also recruiters that were in the boot camps as well, which I didn't expect, on how to to develop my own recruitment methods in the future. But also, as well as being inspiring, it was a lot of fun. It was hosted by Adam Owen from NextGen, and he had the graduates doing a few different things that was really brought out their skills and talents. But it was also interesting. It was good to be a part of that whole process. So they had them doing presentations by each candidate, which told a lot about the individual, what they were interested in. But also the moral dilemma, where they worked together as a group to come up with a solution. There was no right answer, so it was good to see how they went through the process. And there's also a group discussion at the end. But obviously, following on from the boot camps, we kept in contact with Zoe and Rachael, and I'm really pleased to say that we were able to offer them a position at Broadoak as trainee advisors. So that obviously was a massive thing that we got from the boot camp.
It is, yeah, and we'll talk a little bit later about the kind of prospects of graduates, because I think you would agree, Mark, that financial planning is not usually thought of as something that people go on and do after university. But I think one of the things you mentioned at the start of what you were saying there was like the idea that you met some great people, and I've heard from people over the years that they walk into these kind of boot camps as employers, and the problem is actually that they want to hire everyone in the room because there's so much talent in there, and there's so much good attitude and willingness to achieve in there as well. So I think what you said about the boot camps was really good. What about those sessions? Which one did you find the most useful? Was it the presentations? Was it the exercises? Which of them did you find the most useful for yourself?
I think they're all equally important. I think the way that I was looking at it, I was able to build a picture of the people over the day, got to know them, got to know how they think a bit, and what made them tick, and what was important to them. But as you said, I totally agree. There was a lot of people there that we could have had a continuing conversation with. But Rachael and Zoe stood out for me, and it's strange that they already knew each other beforehand.
Yeah, that's good. So they've already got them kind of existing relationships there as well. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I'm just going to have a chat with those two guys for a second, Mark, but I'll come back to you at the end. Thank you very much for that, mate. So I think what we'll do first is we'll go to Rachel. So hi, Rachel. How you doing?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. So firstly, congratulations, because you've actually got a financial planning firm now. I think what I mentioned before about the kind of thing about financial planning not being a kind of regular career path for people at university, was that how you thought of it as well, or is it becoming more of a kind of viable career path for people in universities nowadays, do you think?
My uni had it as a module, so that was kind of where the interest sparked with it, but I'd never heard of it prior to them units coming up. I'd not really found interest in anything. Then after we did that unit, it kind of showed me that was something that I really enjoyed. So kind of just went from there and saw where it took me.
Yeah. And on that, staying on that, you said there you enjoyed it. Since when was it that you actually joined Mark and Broadoak? When was it?
September
last year. So what's that? It's about 3 or 4 months now, is it? So obviously a short amount of time in financial planning, but I imagine that you've managed to pick up quite a lot about what it's about so far. So the first thing I'll ask you is what have you found most enjoyable so far about your role in financial planning?
I think there's just so much to learn. Like I've come in it like right at the bottom, but there's just so many prospects and you can kind of take it in a direction. I think knowing that kind of you can follow one path, and then if that's not what you enjoy so much, there's still other things that you can go down. But it seems like there's just so much learning to do, and we're kind of right at the start of it to just see where it all takes us.
Yeah, I think I would definitely agree with you on that. One of the things that we have in our community is always learning, and to be honest, you don't really have an opportunity to stop learning as a financial planner, because once you have a look at how many exams it takes to get to chartered, that's kind of out of the question, anyways, isn't it? So what is it? Where are you hoping to get to? What do you have a kind of vision in mind of what is that you want to do in the future, or is it a bit too early just yet?
I think at the minute I'm just aiming, like my goal would initially just to be an advisor, but then kind of just obviously I'll see all the other roles that come up before then, just see what sort of I feel like I enjoy the most and what I'm best at. But just so far going for my exams and just see where it goes from there.
Brilliant. I would definitely agree with you as well that there's a role for everyone in finance, not just financial planning, but finance, to be honest. It caters for all personality types. And that's especially since the role of paraplanners over the last few years as well. They used to be thought of as a kind of pre-financial planner role, whereas now a lot of people are saying, you know what, actually, I'm fine as a paraplanner, so I'm going to stay in that role rather than going on and doing something else, which is brilliant as well. So thank you very much, Rachel. I'm now going to talk to Zoe. And there she is. How are you doing, Zoe?
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. So when did you join Mark, first of all? Was it the same time?
September as well. Yeah.
Same time as Rachel. Okay. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is that transition from university life to being in an actual career and with a career path as well, which is sometimes quite rare for people coming out of university because they don't really know what they want to do, or they don't really know where they're going to go next and stuff like that. So if there's anyone watching this who is thinking about going into financial planning as a career straight after university, what would you say to them? What tips do you have for them that you found really useful since you've done it?
I think from a short time in this role, I've realised how important soft skills are. It isn't just about the exams are important and the knowledge is important, but you do need to build the soft skills as well. You don't have to be the brainiest person in the room to be a good advisor, and that's what I've definitely learned. And if you're in an interview process where you're sat in front of someone, it's quite similar possibly to that first client meeting that you'll have, and you'll have to build up the soft skills in that as well. So showing that you can be trustful is just as well. So definitely that you've got to build first impressions.
That is such a good point as well. I think The problem with that kind of stuff is that it doesn't get taught in the exams. So, you don't get taught how to hold client meetings in the financial planning exams as much as we would wish that you would be able to. That kind of stuff comes with doing the role and comes with having a great mentor like you guys have got with Mark, and to how to instill that kind of stuff into you. I think one of the most important things is for you guys at the moment, I think you would agree with me on this, Zoe, is to kind of watch how financial planners do it in your financial planning firm and pick up from them. There's people who think that they're going to be a financial planner as soon as they've qualified, and in reality they're let down because there's a lot more stuff that you have to know before you can become a financial planner. Would you definitely agree with that?
Definitely. Like, passing all of the exams doesn't make you a financial planner. It just gives you the knowledge. It doesn't give you the ability. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Brilliant. And well, just one last point. How are the exams going for you? I forgot to ask Rachel this, but how are the exams going for you?
Well, I've got one booked for the end of the month, so I've got my second exam booked for the end of the month.
Good. So that means you've passed one then, doesn't it? Which is good.
Passed one, working on the second.
Very good. Well, congratulations on the first one, and good luck for the next ones as well. Thank you, Zoe.
Thank you.
I'm just going to quickly bring Mark back onto the screen. And Mark, what I want to talk to you about is for anyone who's watching this who is a graduate at the moment, or not even a graduate, someone who's just looking to get into planning. Sounds like something's just fallen over in the room behind you. What would you, if there are people out there who are looking for a role in financial planning, what advice would you give to them on what employers in financial planning are looking for out of those people?
I would say it's probably a bit obvious to say to have a good CV with to show that you're keen to challenge yourself, whether it's academically or in other ways, and that you can achieve what you set out to do. I can't speak for all employers, but I guess one of the most important thing is not really specific knowledge or skills, because we wouldn't expect anybody to have that at the outset, but to being able to demonstrate the right traits, really. The main thing is the ability and desire to learn, to show that you're hungry and that you want to take it all on. But also, I think really it's such a people-orientated business. It's important to be able to show that you can fit in with the team, and that you can deal with clients, and that you share the ethos of the business. For me personally, it's about being honest and have integrity and having a growth mindset, so that you're willing to take things on, you're willing to grow and develop as a person, and to help the business grow as well.
Absolutely. We've heard that so many times, not just from employers from the boot camps, but everything over the years, of this idea of attitude. Everything else can be taught, but you can't teach great attitude. And so it's really important to have that great attitude, to say yes to things, to be willing to, put the graft in, put the hours in. I think Rachael and Zoe would, in fact, I'll bring them back on the screen just so they can agree with me on this, that, working in financial planning and training to be a financial planner is no easy job. I don't think we need to lie about that, do we? It's not an easy thing. There is a long process and a lot of learning. And if you have the right attitude, that comes easily. Whereas if you don't have the right attitude, you can get scared and start saying no to things because it feels like it's overwhelming. So definitely agree with you on that one. Well, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to stop putting you through some punishment. But thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Good luck for the future, every single one of you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me this afternoon. And we'll keep in touch in the future. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, bye.